D-Day was 2 days ago. It's still so raw, and I'm still processing all of it. My betrayed partner, BP, found out when the other betrayed partner contacted him on Facebook. Everything came out all at once. I had hoped for so long to keep this hidden, telling myself it would somehow spare him the pain. But the truth has an uncanny way of finding the light. When he confronted me, I didn't handle it well at all. I was completely blindsided and I panicked. I did what I'm most ashamed of. I tried to deny it initially, as if somehow I could protect myself from the fallout for a little longer. It was awful. I saw the look of disbelief and hurt on his face, and all I could think of was how I had betrayed his trust, the love we shared, and everything we had built together. He left that night and went to stay with a friend. It was the longest night of my life, knowing I had no one to blame but myself. I've never felt this kind of regret, this deep sense of grief for something I did entirely to myself. He's coming over today, but I'm pretty sure he's not coming here to talk about reconciliation. Knowing how much he gets unhealthily hung up on things, I know he won't be able to move past this. Not at all. Bit more information. I had a close to 1-year-long affair with a friend of mine. The first few months were an emotional affair, but gradually it intensified and we had sex. The last 7 months or so were a full-blown relationship with almost daily sex during the weekdays. Me prepping him meals and taking them to him during lunch hour and discussing plans for our future as though we didn't have significant others at home. I can see how I minimized and rationalized my actions to avoid feeling guilty. I kept convincing myself that BP would never find out, that this was something I could compartmentalize, and I avoided thinking about the consequences, what it would do to him, how deeply he'd be hurt. Now all of those consequences are here, staring me in the face, and there's no more avoiding them. More than anything, I want to be able to take it all back. I want to go back to the person I was before I made these terrible choices. I want the loving relationship we used to have. I used to be a safe space. He'd been through so much before we met, and he trusted me. He let his guard down with me, and I broke that. I broke the one thing that mattered most to him: trust. When we speak tonight, I want to make sure I'm prepared, and I want to be able to say or do things that will help rather than hurt. I know I've already done enough damage, and I don't want to add to it by saying the wrong thing or being defensive. I want to take full responsibility for what I've done, with no excuses, because there are none. This is all on me. I've read about how important it is to be transparent, to answer any questions he has without holding anything back, even if it's painful. I'm terrified of how much this conversation is going to hurt him, but I know he deserves the truth, the whole truth. If he decides he can't stay with me, I want to know what else I can do to support him. I've heard about the idea of a formal apology letter, and I'm considering writing one, but I don't want to overwhelm him if he's not ready for that. If he's willing, I would also like to go to couples counseling, but I don't know if that's something he'll even consider at this point. Is there anything that could make even a small difference right now? I'm desperate to do the right thing. Update. 2 days ago, my BP broke up with me after coming back to have that final talk. He packed up his things and moved out. Since he was the only one on the lease, he's also breaking it, which leaves me in a difficult situation, and I need to figure out where to go next. I asked him if he could give me more time to sort things out, but he told me to go fuck myself or maybe move in with AP. I can't, obviously. He's got a wife. Who was the one who broke the news about our affair to BP? I lost it in that moment and told him few expletives. I've already lost everything, and I just couldn't handle his wrath anymore. The bigger issue now is that he's going around telling everyone that I had an affair. I only found out because a few key people in my life suddenly called, and the way they were asking questions made it clear they already knew. I was blindsided all over again. We never talked about telling people or agreed on how to handle this, and I haven't even had the chance to say anything to anyone else yet. I'm an absolute wreck. If one more person asks me if I had an affair, I swear I'm just going to strangle them. I understand he's hurt, and he has every right to his feelings, but I just wish he hadn't gone and shared this so widely. It's so humiliating. I know people are going to be judgmental, and of course, no one would ever want to broadcast the most embarrassing thing they've ever done. Besides, I feel like this is personal between him and me, and it shouldn't be turned into public gossip. I'm stuck. If I just say, we've broken up and I don't want to talk about it, it basically confirms what he's been saying, and everyone will draw their own conclusions. And considering how upset I've been, how devastated I am about the breakup, I think people will assume the worst unless I give them a different story. I don't want to lie and make up something completely false, but I also don't want everyone around me to think of me as a cheater. My mom agrees that he's being vindictive by telling everyone, and she's supportive of me, but I still don't know what to do. I'm fine being dumped or homeless, but I couldn't bear it if people got the impression that I cheated. I'm already losing the person I love, my home, and I can't lose my reputation too. I don't know how to handle the questions from people, or how to keep my head up when I feel like my entire world is falling apart. Should I find a way to talk to him and get him to back off? Will it anger him even more? I'd like your opinions on this, please. Thanks in advance. Story 2. Just found out my girlfriend, 22, cheated on me, 36 male, way more than originally admitted. We started dating June 2016. Met at work, absolutely fell head over heels for each other. Back in May 2017, she cheated on me during a very rough patch in our relationship, and I took her back. Things were getting better, but not perfect. There were arguments. I lashed out at her frequently because it still hurt. I said terrible, hurtful things, and she was never quite straight with me in regards to my questions. Timeline-wise, we had another huge argument over the past few days because I found out she's been texting and meeting her exes because she needs someone familiar to talk to about us. Even after I explicitly told her that I'm not comfortable with them talking. Honestly, not a jealousy issue. One, she had a restraining order, and the other used to abuse her. After some vigorous questioning, she admitted that she had a 2 one-night stand and a 3-night stand between September and December of 2016. Not with the exes, these are 3 new people. So, she's fucked 4 people, 8 separate times since we started to date. She's in constant contact with her exes and seeing them. I have remained steadfastly loyal. I'm a fucking idiot, and I'm honestly destroyed. Now Reddit, I need some help. She's desperate to be mine again. She's offered to give me her social media PW, her phone records, everything that could possibly be important to her, to inspect and to keep. She's offered to transfer her life savings to me, to hold as collateral. She's offered to find girls for threesomes, etc. Technically, she's never cheated on me after I found out about this one dude. May, I know what I've already done. Walked the fuck out. Haven't looked back. What do you think, Reddit? Important edit. I realize there's an additional point of context that I forgot. I broke up with her earlier this week, Monday, because I told her that I was tired of the lies she kept feeding me. I knew she was hiding something, and I'm tired of it. Met a girl throughout the week, and we decided to meet for dinner and such Thursday night. It was pretty hot leading up to it. Naked pics, sexting, all that fun stuff. Now I'd also been texting GF to finalize things. The usual post-breakup shit. I hate you, you're a liar, etc., etc., etc. I need my limited edition, blah blah, send me my dog, etc. I told her my plans for Thursday and she loses her mind. She is mad. She knows some stuff about me and blackmails me to meet her on Friday night. So we meet Friday night. She's got the upper hand, she's got all the leverage. She's telling me essentially what an asshole I am, how I always think I'm right. This relationship is going to change, and she's making the rules. She's got some serious momentum in her hitch, and she's going full bore. However, while we're arguing, I see her phone light up with the name of her ex. I snatch the phone out of her hand and look. She's pleading suddenly. She's pulling the phone, trying to shoulder me, shaking me, telling me I need to love and trust her. Bitch, please. I tell her to sit the fuck down. Here's a fun little fact. I've known her password since our first month together. I've had every opportunity to take the phone and look, except I'm huge into privacy. I think that everyone needs it, and it's healthy for relationships to have privacy from each other. But fuck this shit, not this time. Privacy can go ride one of the dicks she's so fond of. She tells me she doesn't want me to read about the shit that her mom has been talking about me. I know that was a lie, and I opened that phone right the fuck up. And lo and behold, suddenly, everything changes. And that's how we got to where we are. Update. After some incredible advice and some that were not so great, and a couple of weird ones, I know my choice is right. I'm walking away. However, that doesn't change the fact that along the way, I made some really poor decisions. I'm going to list them. I agreed to take her back with a whole bunch of conditions. One of them being that she's giving me her life savings. Not as collateral, but as compensation. 4 guys? That's 5G a guy. At least I'm paying down my debt through her. Update to that, I woke up this morning and thought about this. Good God, what was I thinking? I called her, told her the deal was off and I was an idiot for even considering that. She cried and carried on. No, I never actually took the money. It was something I demanded in the heat of the moment, and she surprisingly said yes. Again. No exchange took place. Ended it. Spent close to 4 hours on the phone. Dodged a few super close calls, but ultimately it is over. Felt very organic, not forced. Actually slept soundly afterwards. And another update, I'm actually just doing this to myself at this point. I need to stop, but I started to log on to her social media. Wow. Just giving guys your number on Tinder, Snapchats. We weren't even dating a month before this happened. God, I'm such a fool. I think you already know this, but it bears repeating, you did the right thing by walking away. Your ex sounds like a nightmare. There was no trust left in that relationship, and without trust, there's really no solid foundation to build anything healthy on. She showed you who she was multiple times, and even though you tried to make it work, you were right to end it when you did. Demanding compensation or holding someone's money as collateral is not how a loving relationship works, and it wouldn't have helped either of you heal. It's good that you recognized that before it went any further. It's for the best that you cut her off entirely. Continuing to check her social media or snoop into her conversations is only going to prolong your suffering. The more you expose yourself to her deceit and betrayal, the longer it's going to take for you to recover. Block her on everything and go no contact. It's the only way to truly move on and start healing.